my name is Hailey Knudsen. I am here today with Faith on Films with these two lovely gentlemen. This is Neal Harmon, CEO of Angel Studios, and Jeffrey Harmon, Chief Content and Marketing Officer of Angel Studios. So I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for bringing family-friendly content to the screen. As an 18-year-old, I can say that my generation didn't grow up with a lot of that, besides VeggieTales, which I watched vigorously. But so where did this vision of Angel Studios really spur from? Where was the beginnings of it?
Just brothers wanting to solve a problem for our children. That's where it came from. We started trying to skip inappropriate content. My 9-year-old, I wanted to share with him Cinderella Man, a favorite movie of mine, to teach him about honesty. And there's a coach that has a mouth in that movie, and I didn't want my 9-year-old using those words with his younger sisters, so I programmed a technology that would mute the bad words so they wouldn't hear them, but they'd still be able to understand the story. And then they got the lesson, but they didn't repeat those words. And as brothers, we decided to start a business around this once we caught the vision that if we built this technology and did it well, it would attract an audience of people to whom we could create better content than Hollywood could. So that was the beginnings.
Boy howdy, has that attracted an audience for sure. Lots of crowdfunding. So tell me about the crowdfunding. Like, how can people get involved in that, and how is it different than other studios?
It's totally different than most studios because it's fan-owned content. The fans own the shows. They're the ones putting the money in, and it means that rather than a Hollywood gatekeeper deciding whether or not the content makes it, we were tired of seeing so much, the stuff we want to see isn't getting past the gatekeepers. So let's just open up the gates and bring in content this way. And then so basically a fan can go and invest in a project, like 19,000 people invested, around 19,000 inside of The Chosen. Or I think over 10,000 people invested in Wing Feather Saga. Different 8,000 people invested in Dry Bar Comedy. So there's all these different projects that people are saying, I want this to exist, and so they put their own money down. And then if it makes money, they can make some money back.
Oh wow, so the people get to see what they finally want to see.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So how have you seen God move throughout all these different movies and projects and the beginnings of this amazing thing?
Well, we definitely, as we look back on some of the experiences we had, we survived a lawsuit from the largest media company in the world,
wow.
Disney, and we don't know of another company who's done that. And as we look back on how that came together, it's hard not to recognize a divine power helping us. Not because of us per se, we just think that the problem we're trying to solve, that we wanted to solve as young parents, needs to be solved so badly
that God's helping out.
God's helping out as long as we, keep following His principles.
Wow, that's incredible. So how was getting through that lawsuit? I mean, that had to just take a lot of courage from y'all in turning to Christ. Like, how did y'all get through that?
We almost didn't get through it. So there was a point where we had how many days left in cash? It was less than 40 days.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, wow. I think it was just over a month.
Yeah, over a month before we run out of money, and then
wow.
That's the time period where Dry Bar took off. And we were working on The Chosen, and we threw everything at The Chosen, and it was a similar thing. We were investing to get The Chosen marketed so they could raise their money, and we were just down to like the very last days of if it doesn't work. And then we get to a point where Disney wins a chunk of they win the first stage of the lawsuit, right? And they get a $62.5 million judgment against us for skipping content inside, skipping the...
In a way they didn't like.
Yeah, skipping swear words and muting. And at that point, we have to get a trustee in place, and the trustee tells us if The Chosen doesn't make $1.5 million by the end of 2019, then you're going to go into Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
It means your
Oh
company's
my.
done.
And we're launching The Chosen like the rest of the season on Thanksgiving. So we have to earn $1.5 million in 5 weeks. And we had this idea to build a Chosen app and to do this pay it forward model. And it felt like inspiration to do it. And we're all working really hard to get this thing launched. And we launched at Thanksgiving, and we just barely made it. Right at December 31st, we hit
It was
1.5.
literally 1.5 million.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is
Yeah.
just incredible.
So we've had a bunch of near-death experiences.
Man.
Is what we call them in
Man.
the entrepreneurial world. You call them. They're near. Every big company has had near-death experiences at some point.
Wow. Well, it just shows that God has really got y'all. God has y'all in his hands. So how was it, like, did you lean on your family for support through that? How were they?
Yeah, when that $62.5 million judgment hit, I just went back to my wife and just cried in her lap, and it's like, I think it's over. I think we're dead.
Man, so that family aspect, I see that represented a lot in Wing Feather. So back to Wing Feather, how do you see that with the crowdfunding? I mean, that just went crazy for an animated film. Like, what's something that you've seen in Wing Feather that's just different from any other animated?
Well, the animation is totally different than anything we've ever seen. They've literally done a different art form and a different animation style to create this show. And it's special. Every single frame is beautiful.
Even the technology behind the animation is different.
Yes.
They're using video game technology to do
Oh,
it.
really?
Yes.
Wow.
And then they're doing it for a price that is unheard of. Like, they're creating a season for $5 or $6 million. And you know, Pixar spends $200 million on a single film, and they're creating a season on that price.
Wow, that's just-
So it's really innovative what they're doing.
Definitely, definitely. Wow. That's just incredible. Like, it's just crazy to see all of this just coming together. Like, I was there for like the beginning of The Chosen. I remember my mom was like, hey, you have to sit down and watch this with my family. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll sit down and watch like a series about Jesus. And we were just like, this is incredible. It was just
Yeah.
so well made. And like,
Yeah.
I even see it represented in Wing Feather, like watching like the little snippets and the sneak peeks. I'm just so excited to see this come together. And this whole event has just been incredible. Like, it's just nothing like I would expect. And I'm just so excited for all this coming together. And you can really see God moving throughout this project.
Thank you.
So, what's something that y'all really see that's different about Angel Studios? Like, why would somebody come to Angel Studios with their project instead of going to another studio?
Have Angel's named after, not after us or the company. It's named after people like you and your mom who have supported Wing Feather and who have supported The Chosen. We call them the angels or angel investors. They're the ones who make these projects possible. And so creators who feel called to tell a specific story, they come to Angel because they want the gates to be open. They don't want to have to answer to Hollywood gatekeepers. They want to tell the story that they feel in their heart they need to tell and connect with their audience in the way that they feel that they need to in order to tell their story. And the Angel model makes that possible.
Wow, I just love that. The name reflects so beautifully. Wow. Well, thank y'all so much for sitting down today. This is Hailey Knudsen with Faith on Film. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Hailey.